Now, there are a plethora of places that you can stay in South Korea relatively cheap, and some of these places you can and cannot bring a guest in. So let's look right into what's bad. Okay, so first we're gonna look in a place called a Goshiwon. A Goshiwon is literally a dorm, if you will, and they're no bigger than a closet usually. Some might be a little bit bigger, but it all varies. A lot of times with the Goshiwon, it's good only if you expect to stay short term and you're not looking to spend too much money. See, they usually come about this size. I used to actually stay in a place like this, and I'll tell you right now, it's fun for a little bit, but after a while, you'll start to feel really crushed inside. In addition, the beds may not be the right size for you. If you're tall in South Korea, staying at a Goshen would probably be the worst choice unless you actually go to the place itself and test out the bed. See, usually whenever you go to a Goshen, they'll have free internet for you, free internet. You don't have to pay for any amenities. You just only have to just pay for the space. Now, the thing about a Goshen though is you're not allowed to bring a guest in, and your bathroom. In fact, most places in Korea are like this. The bathroom and the toilet and the shower will all be together. So if you have any business you want to take care of, especially if you got to do number two, you want to take care of that first before you take a shower, right? Because you don't want water all over the seat. So in a place like this, it's not very good if you're tall. The beds may or may not be comfortable, and the walls will be paper thin, so you might can hear somebody in the other room doing this, that, and the other. So that is a Goshiwon in a nutshell. But again, if it's something you want to experience and you don't want to have to worry about too much other stuff, you'll be taken care of inside of a Goshiwon. And if you want to stay in a Goshiwon, the site I suggest you go to is goshipages.com. I have pretty much everything you need. These are, like I said, these are pretty much dorms, and you will find what you're looking for. Now, let's say you want something better, and again, you're only staying for short term. Airbnb in South Korea is really good, and you can find good places anywhere between $20 to $50 a night. The great thing about it is a lot of these photos here, they're not doctored, they're not fake. What you see is pretty much what you get. But the great thing about it though, they let you bring guests in. They're super comfortable and they have everything that you need and ready to go. And they're not too ridiculous on the whole cleaning fee like you would get here in the USA. Now, the next type of place that you can stay at, it's called a hostel. Now, hostels in South Korea, they're hit or miss, right? You got some that are really good, and then you got some that are just kind of WTF, right? Now, the cool thing about a hostel is you go into a place like this, you meet up with a lot of great people that's also traveling, you make good friends, and you go out and you do this and the other. Now, the thing about this, though, is the fact that you can't bring a guest inside of a hostel. More than likely, the point of most of y'all guys' trips is to come here and just have some fun, talk to some people, do whatever, right? Now, again, you can make friends at a hostel, but you can't bring any guests at a hostel. But if this is the route that you want to take and you want to really do what you want to do, go to Hostel World. You'll find a lot of good spots over in Itaewon, Hongdae, in Sedong. And the best thing about it is that many of the people that run these hostels, you have some people, they can speak English and they will be more than happy to help you out. Now, let's say you're actually looking to do a long-term stay at 3 months. Now, if you're American, the most you can stay is 90 days. If you're Canadian, I believe the most you can stay is 6 months. But anyway, let's say you want to have an apartment and you're planning on staying for at least 3 months, right? What you can do is that you can go to Craigslist and look in their housing section. So look for the Korean Craigslist for the housing and apartments. And up there, it'll tell you pretty much the price that you'll have to pay. Now, but let's say you want to do a short-term stay, like say 3 months. What you're going to have to do is some of these places, they'll have a thing where you have to put down what they call key money, or what we call in English a deposit. You have to some of these places you have to put down $3,000, right? This is for like this is for if you want to do 3 months, 3 to 11 months for this one. You have to put down $3,000 deposit, and then you have to pay 660,000 won a month, all right? And you're locked into that until it's time to go. Of course, you have to pay your maintenance or whatever, right? But the great thing about using Craigslist though is that you can message these people You can, oh yeah, you can even message them on Kakao Talk right here. They speak English. They'll be more than happy to help you out. Now, just because the photos on here look good, that doesn't mean that it may actually be good for you. Now, what I strongly suggest you do is you look at the photos, but then you actually go there yourself. You check out the building, you check out where it's at, and what the area is all about before you go there. All right. But the cool thing though is that if you convert USD to Korean won, it's still actually pretty good for the size space that you're getting. All right. But again, you want to look at the key money stuff very carefully. See, like this one is 10 million won. So that means you're going to be locked into this for a year. You want to be very careful with that. All right. Now with the key money, you'll get back whatever you put down, so long as you don't damage the walls in any places like this. See, this actually looks pretty doggone good. Looks at even, and of course, all these places, they'll have a washing machine. Now, just so you know, whenever you in Korea and you're in a place like this, Korea, they do not have drying machines. Now, there are laundromats, but they are few and far between. They will have a laundromat there, and more than likely, you'll have to use a drying rack to dry your clothes. Now we're going to get into the really juicy stuff here. Now, let's say you're out and about and you're with a cute girl. Everything's going off great. The places that you'll most likely will go to is either a love hotel or a love motel. Now, the great thing about staying at a love hotel is when you go up there, you have to use a machine to buy the room. And then once you get that down, once you make all the payments, you go inside, you and your girl, you go inside and you do whatever. The best app that you can use to find a love hotel is called Yeonolaja. You're with the Korean lady and she has this app that would be very great. But if she doesn't have the app, you can use Kakao Maps or Naver Maps to help you find it. Let's say, okay, let's go to a motel. Let's say you're in Gangnam. So take a look at this, right? Ooh, this is a nice love hotel right here. So right here, it says that you can use this love hotel 5 hours. 5 hours for $25. Really good. But after 5 o'clock, you can stay in it for as long as you like for 70,000 won. I said, this is Gangnam, so you're going to see some very good-looking areas around here. Good-looking love hotels. They're going to be like very fancy. Gangnam, think of it like Beverly Hills, if you will. Now, the thing with this, though, is that you have to be 18 to go into a love hotel. But you go in there, you can either go to the front desk or you can use any of the machines. Then I'll tell you where your room is. I'll give you the key card. You go in there, do your business. That's pretty much what you can expect with any accommodations in South Korea, because these will help you out immensely.